Hope you're all keeping well and safe, and thank you for taking the time this morning to join our meeting. My clock is showing 7:44 a.m. and I'll call the meeting to order for Wednesday, May the 5th for the BIA. Just starting, wondering if there's any declarations of pecuniary interest this morning. Not hearing any, and I don't believe we have any delegations this morning that I'm aware of.
No.
Okay, so we'll move right on to the minutes of the February 3rd meeting. Trusting everyone has had a chance to read those, and if there's any business arising from those minutes. Could I have a motion to accept the minutes from February the 3rd?
I'll accept those, Harminder.
Could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second them.
Okay,
Brad?
Brad does that. All in favor? I assume that's everyone, so that is carried. And then if we could just move right into the reports from Lisa. I see that we have 3 reports, so she has lots to tell us about this morning. And if Lisa, you could go ahead, that would be great.
Sure. So I can start with the coordinator reports. I sent an email in March. Felt like we hadn't had a real meeting because of the AGM. So I did a coordinator report for April, and then I submitted this one for this meeting. So there's actually 3 reports that were attached. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, feel free to let me know either now or in an email or a phone call. I'm always available. In terms of the AGM, I thought it went well. Braden did a workshop for free for us. We had 18 people in total, including the board. And I looked back to see how that fared in comparison. We had 15 people in 2020 and we had 16 people in 2019. So we actually went up, and so I felt that that was good. And I was pleased overall with the AGM, and thanks to everyone who helped with it and attended. For Win the Space, it's just a short update. I reached out to Libro once again, and they continue to be in support of postponing, especially while we're in a lockdown. I'm to touch back with them in late summer unless things change for the better sooner. So we still have the money, we still have the support. I checked in with the chamber because they're our biggest partner, and they're the ones that provided the most assistance, and they're also fine to hold off at this time. I wanted to talk about available space. We have, to my knowledge, we have 3 real spaces available right now. We have where Jam Cam was located, in case anyone doesn't know that they closed down. He basically indicated that it was not a very good experience for him having a business in North Perth, and he would not recommend it to anyone, was the feedback I was given. It sounds like there's a lot of things that went on with him and his landlord. And I know there's always 2 sides to each story, but that was disappointing to hear that. The space beside Pizza Hut that used to be the pet store is still available, and the Blows Travel downtown is still available. There are other spaces, but they're not actually built yet, or they're not like a storefront. So I just wanted to give that update on that. Also, I'm sure everyone has seen, because, and we were just talking about it, the Sign Wars they're really fun. They're bringing a lot of spirit. It even made it to BBC, which was pretty exciting. And the chamber is looking at trying to get all the signs together in one document. And I saw yesterday that Spectrum Graphics is actually going to do t-shirts, and the proceeds will go to charity. So I thought that was pretty neat. For the facade improvement, it's not on here, but I continue to work with Lee, who's the coordinator for that for North Perth. And he's taken a facade improvement plan document and a design guideline document to council. He's asked council for feedback by May 1st, which was obviously for this week. And he'll be going back to council on May 10th for final approval. And he is hoping the program will be up and running by June. He feels this is doable. He also did, while he was doing the project, he did a bit of engagement with young adults and young families in the community. So it's ages 19 to 34. He did phone calls and talked about downtown Listowel and how they engage with it. And each of them said that they really want downtown to become more of a destination and not just a place to pass through. And they really are liking some of the new shops downtown, like Holy Guacamole, Impressions, and Green Cloud. So that was interesting to hear that the young do want to make downtown more inviting. So he'll continue to give me feedback and as he works with council and through that project. So that was for that. I'm continuing to advertise. Right now I have one that's like support local. You know, we're still open even if we can't go in the stores. So I'm working with Blackburn Radio and the Ranch. I'm doing lots of social media ads. Right now, if we are allowed to open after this lockdown, we'll be in yellow. That's kind of the number. We have some numbers that indicate green, but I think we'd be in yellow. So I'm hopeful, and I'm currently working on new ads for the radio and for us, if that is the case. So I have those on standby, ready to go. One of the other things I wanted to do while we're on here is introduce Nicole. Nicole is replacing Nicole. So it won't be hard to remember the name, but I don't know if everyone can see her. Maybe she can wave. She has been with the municipality for quite some time. She is the first person you often see when you enter our building. She's got a great bubbly personality. She's a lot of fun, and she responds quickly every time I email or ask for anything. So we're excited to have her join our team as our new administrative support. We are obviously very sad to lose Nicole because she's been amazing. She's not leaving municipality, thank goodness. She's just going to be working on some other things and spending more time with the recreational area, which is her area, if I said that right, Nicole. So anyways, a welcome, Nicole, and we'll miss you, Nicole. So I just wanted to talk about that. And then I also wanted to ask if there's anyone that is wanting to join the chamber golf tournament. And of course, I don't know what I did, so my screen is not showing me everyone. There we go. We're going to be hopefully participating in the chamber golf tournament, which is in June. And of course, I'm forgetting the date. Scott, do you remember? I sent it to you the 23rd, maybe, or the 25th of June. Anyways, is there anyone who is on this committee that is not already attending that is interested in attending? Because we'll put a team together. I will take silence as a no. And it looks like we'll have a two-person team again this year, which is great. Poor Scott has to put up with my very bad golf, but it's a fun day. So hopefully we'll be able to do that and support the chamber. Are there any questions or comments for me? Because that kind of wraps up this part of my reporting.
Are there any questions from anyone for Lisa this morning? I guess the only question I have, Lisa, or thought that I wanted to bring forward was just the inclusion of all the properties at 500 Mitchell Road. We note them in available commercial space, but you've clearly noted they're 15 to 18 months out. They're not going to break ground on that unless they get tenants. So I'm not sure why we're even counting them, because there's other vacant land out on Mitchell Road as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to remove them and just kind of note it. That's fine by me.
Yeah, to me, it just gives a false sense that they're actually available when they're so far out that we can't even count them. So.
Thank you. I'll just keep a note of them and the contractor's information just because I have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So not seeing any other on Lisa's materials. Naturally, I'd like to thank her for her efforts and everyone's efforts on the AGM, and my apologies for not being there. Understand Mayor Todd read my comments, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Todd. We can move on to the financial report that was provided. There was the overall financial statement document. I took a look at that. I don't know if Fran or Lisa, if there's anything you want to actually detail in the financial statement.
No, just noting, Scott, that we're at an 18% spend so far, and that's attributable, of course, to some of the items that Lisa just identified as not going forward. But this is fairly typical for the first part of the year. Certainly, the BIA's heavy spend is at the end of the year, so that's all I would add.
Okay.
For me, I just want to note that I've been doing, there's a conference that's not listed on there. It's through the OBIA, which we're a member of, the virtual conference. And they've spread it out over 4 weeks. It's like 2 hours every week for 4 weeks versus a 1 day where you have to drive somewhere and do a conference. And often I don't do them, but I'm finding the topics this time were helpful, and it was extremely affordable because it is at home. There's also some advertising that's not on here yet that I've just submitted. Those are for those ads I was telling you about, the support local. And we're going to be sponsoring the fair in some capacity. So I'm just working through with the fair on that. So there's a few things that aren't on here, but it's a pretty good representation of what we've done so far.
So just ask for a motion from the committee or the board to receive them for information.
I think we have that motion. I see.
I'll move, Matt.
Brad will move that.
Yep, I'll second that.
Matt. Okay. All in favor? Counting is everyone. And then we have the BIA accounts from February the 4th to April the 28th. There's 5 of them. And the total on those is $3,349.59 based on my math. Trusting no one had any concerns with those documents. We could have a motion to move those accounts as well.
Motion to move them.
Brad will move them. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second Matt.
Okay. And all in favor of those? Again, assuming unanimous. So that is done. And we can move on to the council update from Mayor Todd, please.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present to the group this morning. I think just a few comments are in order about the sign wars. Our community has certainly stepped forward with an interesting and engaging platform that has earned, as Lisa mentioned earlier, international attention through coverage on BBC this week. That kind of blew me away, but very exciting. I can attest that tomorrow I'm going to be on Global National Morning Program to talk about the sign wars. So 8:10 a.m. if anyone is a fan of that show and wishes to tune in. But I think there's some continuity here, and I think we've done the world a good turn, or at least to this area of Canada a good turn in starting this little initiative. Kudos to the entrepreneurs in our community who've taken that on. With regards to the work of council over the last few months, a couple things have been on our agenda. We have certainly received first concepts for the redevelopment of the Memorial Arena site and sort of a vision for that site. Council has worked with that first vision and given some tentative movement forward on that project. We also received a report from our recreation group about guidelines that would be in place and useful to a dog park should Listowel or North Perth entertain the creation of a dog park. I think that file has been on our table many times over the years and is certainly at this term of council of interest to us. We made some changes, and these changes apply county-wide, actually, to fire dispatch services. I believe those are imminently being implemented, but certainly there will be a new fire dispatch service with modern or current state-of-the-art kind of equipment being used for fire calls in Perth County and across the 4 lower tier municipalities and St. Mary's, I believe, as well, may be caught in that one. We received a report from our climate change project, and we're in an interim period. Our climate change coordinator left her position, I would say 6 weeks back, perhaps, and so we are in the process of engaging a new climate change coordinator. North Perth is the contract holder on behalf of all of the municipalities of Perth County, and there's a lot more coming down the pipe on that project in terms of suggestions and recommendations, as well as various audits that have been conducted. We received routine water quality reports. All is good there. We received, as Lisa mentioned, a report on the community and a presentation too on the community improvement plan and the facade improvement program concept for North Perth. That is expected back at council next Monday night for more serious consideration and perhaps endorsement. I think many councillors would like to see that program rolled out this summer so that businesses in North Perth have opportunity to take up the advantage of the funds that will be available. At this point, it is proposed that we are leveraging funds and providing matching grants to businesses in the downtowns of Listowel, Atwood, and Moncton. We have received a report as well that came out of a collaborative project across Perth County on winter modernization. There were a few recommendations that were useful to all of our operations departments across the county, but I think it was largely a good news report. There wasn't a need perceived for fleet realignment, route realignment. A lot of what the report brought forward was adjustments in materials management and monitoring of road conditions. Council also had an opportunity to consider a first report from the clerk on ward boundaries and the possible changes for the election of 2022 of North Perth Council. That report, of course, had some ideas for significant change. The clock is ticking, and in some ways that's a challenge. So we intend to spend careful time, I think, looking at the possibilities and then consulting the public about their interests in seeing changes to the electoral framework in North Perth. I don't think those will be in place for the 2022 election, but that doesn't stop us from moving forward with apparent, obvious consultations and opportunities to discuss, perhaps for the 2026 election. Hard to think out that far at times, but that's the nature of our business. We also, this week is, for many of you already aware, the Emergency Management Week, and there are a number of informational activities available this week to bring attention to emergency management in our communities. We've been sort of in a state of emergency for 14 months now. Upshot is that we've taken the opportunity this week to launch our new emergency notification system. This is an online software tool that has been acquired as a capability by the municipality, and it allows us to send out a range of notifications, including emergency notifications to a range of devices. So we can send out text messages, emails, phone calls. There's a range of things that the system can do. It's quite impressive. I had asked for this as a fairly early action in the pandemic response, going back into the late spring and summer of last year. And it's nice to see it finally implemented. So the encouragement is that you certainly, as owners of businesses, as interested parties in businesses, reach out and enroll yourself in the system and encourage others in your employ or other business owners with whom you are friendly to enroll in the system as well. Obviously, these systems can pinpoint information and deliver it with high accuracy and speed, but it's only as good as the number of people who are enrolled and who are ready to receive those alerts. So you can find out more about this at the northperth.ca website, including information about how to enroll. I enrolled yesterday, and it was a very simple process. And finally, on Monday night, Council received a report from the CAO that offered us the opportunity to invest, to co-invest really, in a project that will employ a social worker or social worker type as a human services navigator in North Perth. This is a pilot project. The funds have come in part from the province's contribution to enhance social services in Perth County. A recent contribution of $1.1 million was made to the city of Stratford, which is the consolidated services manager. It takes a little bit of thinking to understand it, but essentially Perth County contracts its support for social services to the city of Stratford, which acts as like the umbrella group for all of Perth County. And so the city of Stratford received the funds, and we had some fruitful discussions which brought about the possibility of this project. This person will be supporting those who have, in many cases, complex needs, but also working in the community to understand the challenges that are faced: housing, food, homelessness. There are a number of issues that certainly are on our plate from time to time, and this person will be a dedicated in North Perth on the ground employee who will work for a period of about a year on a contract to see whether there are outcomes that can be improved and whether the idea is a viable long-term idea for supporting the community. So we're reasonably excited about the potential that that brings, given the growth of our community. We see as well a growth in some of the social challenges that are faced by individuals, housing being amongst the top of them these days. And we're hopeful that this new role will help us better connect with our community, divert from requirements for policing and paramedic services, hospital bed use. There's a number of potential benefits that this person could bring to our community and to those who are perhaps in most need in our community. I think that sort of summarizes what council has been up to of late. We've continued to have a number of planning applications and drain applications at the table. They are fairly relentless. We continue to grow at a pace that astonishes me, at least, and that growth, it looks like it's continuing with ongoing contacts from various developers, certainly asking for my time and council's time. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Todd. Does any member of the board have any questions for Todd? Hearing none. The interview tomorrow morning, Todd. All the best with that.
Thank you.
We can move on to correspondence. It appears we have some Living Works Start program. Lisa, were you speaking to that?
Yes. Hi. So North Perth Cares is a grassroots organization that started from one of the groups that Mayor Todd had put together in the past. And they are reaching out about a program. So they know that COVID has had a lot of negative consequences on North Perth residences, and they acknowledge that small businesses have faced measurable stresses, both financially and emotionally, with repeatedly opening and closing in an effort to keep our community safe. North Perth Cares has been looking into offering us a program called Living Works Start training to a handful of business owners locally, free of cost. Living Works Start teaches trainees to recognize when someone is thinking about suicide and connect them to help and support. The program is done in a virtual format. It takes about 90 minutes to complete. And they feel that getting these tools into the hands of businesses will have a positive impact on owners, employees, and others in the circles of influence. They are prepared to offer 10 sessions of this program. And if it is something the BIA would be interested in offering, where to let them know. So basically, they want to know if this is something that we want to offer to our business owners and community. So the business owners that take this program would then be available to other business owners or people that are struggling and get them linked to some of the help that they need. I was of two minds, which is why it's being presented. One is that it's obviously an excellent program, and it's free. So maybe this is something that would be good for the businesses. But the second thought I had is that it's asking our business owners who are already maybe maxed out to take on something additional. So it's here, and we just need to have a discussion on whether or not the BIA would support this, would help with this, maybe would let business owners know about it, just kind of what we are thinking about it.
Does anyone have any comments or thoughts on that?
So is it just some online training for that business owners can have an employee partake in, or?
I mean, that's a possibility. I think they say in their letter that they were looking for business owners to do it, not necessarily their employees.
Okay,
And it basically teaches to recognize when someone is thinking about suicide and connect them to the help and support that they need.
I don't see any harm in extending the opportunity, do you?
No, like I'm working on a newsletter right now, and I was thinking that I could put it in there, and if there's any businesses that are interested in doing it, they could. I could also put it on our social media, but not necessarily say that we are asking, or just it's available. If you're interested in partaking in this program, reach out to North Perth Cares. It is kind of the approach I was thinking, but I just felt because of the topic and what it is, that it needed to come to the board. So I asked them to put this letter together.
I think it should be offered. I'm like Todd here. We might as well put it out there and make it available. If it helps even one person, then it's a success.
Anyone else? If not, I'll reach out to Amy today and just tell her that we're happy to make it our business owners aware of this program. Okay.
That sounds, do you need a motion on that, Lisa, or do you need anything more formal than that, or?
Yeah, let's put a motion together just to have it, and then I can reach out to her today.
So the motion would be that you're going to advertise this basically in our newsletter and through our social media platforms and make it aware to the business owners? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
like a motion
Everyone's in
that.
agreement? Okay, thank you, Brad. Do we have a seconder?
I can second it, Herminder.
And all in favor? Be unanimous. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
So we can now move on to other business, and if we could ask Kim for an economic development update, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to touch a few areas this morning. We've been continuing to be busy with the varying interests of economic development in the municipality. We have a few focus areas we've been covering. I'll just touch on a few of those. So we continue to promote and market all of the business offerings that we have in North Perth to make it easy for visitors and residents to find information about the community. One interesting thing that we, as many of you know, the Chamber has made some adjustments to their normal home and lifestyle program this year, and they had radio talks by the different businesses or organizations. So I was able to give an update on some things that we've been working on in economic development and different projects, including promoting the Open for Business list that we have, as well as the North Perth Eats list and Shop Local North Perth. So that was great, as well as promoting a couple of other projects that we're working on to make the public aware. And we were continuing to do that social media as well. But those would be things like the facade improvement program that Lisa and the mayor have touched on. Just so you are aware, we have been working pretty diligently on that. And there has been some interest. We've had some businesses come forward to Lee keen and looking for information so that they're ready to go if council does approve for a potential start in June of this year. It is, hope that we'll be able to move forward and that I just wanted to let you know that there are keen businesses that are wanting to participate already. So that's a great sign. Sometimes for these types of programs, it's a little bit slow ramping up. So we're excited for that news. Also, and just so you know, the project itself, the focus is on the facade, things like windows, facade of the building, accessibility, signage. So those are all things that have a pretty significant impact on the visual element of our downtown. So that will really help in meeting some of those needs of the young adults and visitors. And I think will be a great recovery project. And I mean, at the time we were taking this to Red for funding, we weren't aware at all that this was going to be needed at this time, but the timing is great. So that'll be on council's agenda for Monday. Just wanted to update you on that. The Driftscape app, I just wanted to give a bit of background. We continue to work on that. We plan a soft launch in May with a more public launch to follow when it's appropriate and safe to do so. That project is an app-based program. The focus is really to target young adults who don't look for information, really don't seek out things to do or activities via websites. They don't, I mean, sometimes they Google, but they don't use, like, they wouldn't come to a municipal website or even to some social media like Facebook. They don't always use that platform. So this is a platform that's province-wide, that's used in Toronto for the distillery district and that. So as people are traveling through, it would really, the intent is for it to target that young adult population with experiences, places, events, things to do. So it is there's a limited number of items that can be selected, but the items that are posted will really target that group. And we, on the radio show, it was interesting because the fellow that was, Brandon, that was doing the interview said, you know, I'm new to the area and I'm looking for things to do. That would be really perfect for what I'm looking for. That's also our hope, is for new residents, new young adults that aren't maybe just traveling through, that this will be a good option for them. So we're continuing to work on that project. Also, the North Perth Economic Development Advisory Committee is continuing to work. We are in a priority setting process or timeframe right now, and really great discussion about priorities of things that they want to work on, and that should be having some conclusion to that coming up as well over the at our next meeting in May. And I think just to top things off, we have been our strategic plan for the municipality, but for economic development in particular, is very full this year. The business plan is very full, in addition to all of the different activities that arise or needs that arise out of COVID. So we are balancing to get all those different projects, working on newcomer attraction and different priorities met in addition to publicizing and helping inform businesses of the different opportunities for them, for funding, for such as the rapid testing that was launched this late last week, just to make our businesses aware of different things that can help make things run more effectively and efficiently for them over this time as well. Thanks. Any questions? I'm happy to take them.
Thank you, Kim. Is there any questions for Kim this morning? Hearing none, thanks again. If we could move on to Ashley for an update on Perth County.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'll start with our digital service squad update. So you've probably heard this one from me before, but our digital service squad member is still available for what I believe is a little bit over 1 more month. So you guys met Clara earlier this year, I believe, and we now have a new squad member, Nathaniel, on staff, doing the same things that Clara was doing. So social media assistance, e-commerce setup, website development, things like that. If you or any business you know needs assistance, please reach out to our digital service squad and they would be happy to assist. PC Connect, our transit system, is still running at this time, but for now it is running for essential services only. So that could be accessing groceries, prescriptions, healthcare services, and whatnot. Despite, since the launch of the service, not really having the opportunity to market it widely due to the pandemic, we're still seeing pretty good ridership numbers, so we're pleased with that. I don't have a ridership update for you today, but at the next meeting in July, I'll try to get a sense of ridership trends throughout the first half of the year and bring that to you then. We have a few exciting webinars coming up. The first is Experience Development 101. It's a tourism recovery workshop. So we're working with a experience development specialist, Kim Clark, to work with businesses to develop COVID-19 resilient experiences and discover some new business recovery strategies. And we're inviting businesses to participate in this at a free online workshop. So we're offering 2 different time slots, one in the morning and one in the evening, in hopes of making it work for as many businesses as possible. You can find more information on that on our website or on our social media pages, or you can visit tourismrecovery.eventbrite.ca. I will mention this webinar is kind of the first step to a bigger program that we'll be doing throughout the year. So attending the webinar is great if that's all you want to do. But if you want to work with us more, it's a great chance to learn more about the program. And then following the webinar, you can work with us to develop an experience, maybe bring something new to market, and we'll do what we can to help you actually market those experiences with professional media companies. The other exciting webinar we have going on this month is the Ontario by Bike webinars. So we've teamed up with the town of St. Mary's and the city of Stratford to expand our Ontario by Bike's bicycle-friendly business certification network and try to encourage our businesses to tap into the growing market of cycle tourism. So similarly to the experience development program, this webinar is what we hope will be a first step. We invite businesses to come, participate, learn more about what you'll need to become bicycle friendly, or maybe you already are and you don't even know it and you can just get the certificate. And from there, Stratford, St. Mary's, and Perth County are hoping to work together to really improve the cycling assets and make Perth County a cycling destination. You can find more information on that webinar again on our website, on our social media, or by visiting OntarioByBike.com. We're excited to also be working with Stratford and St. Mary's and Communitech, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, to offer COVID-19 screening kits to businesses in Perth County. So these kits are funded by the provincial and federal governments, and they are a Stay Safe program that provides free rapid point of care tests for employers of small and medium-sized businesses to detect cases of COVID-19 in their business. So if you're under 150 employees, you have access to this program. And if you're in a sector considered essential where employees cannot work from home or physically distance. So the way this works right now is any orders placed before 3 p.m. on a Friday will then be available for pickup the following Monday in Stratford in the afternoon. If you find your business is wanting your these kits more frequently or on different days, you can work directly with Commutech to do that yourself and kind of cut out the trip to Stratford if that's something that you're interested in. But we're really excited about this. We hope it will help in our efforts to protect our communities from COVID-19. If you want more information on that, you can visit the Perth County Facebook page, and we're posting about it all the time. Or you can visit test.staysafescreen.ca. Lastly, our Perth County Cares Mystery Box program wrapped up on April 28th. People were encouraged to nominate local residents to receive a surprise mystery box filled with Perth County products and gift cards, and the boxes are valued at $100 each. So going into the program, we planned to have 50 boxes available, and we ended up receiving over 135 nominations. The nominations were really heartwarming to read and kind of a testament to the resilient folks we have in Perth County. So right now we're kind of working behind the scenes on building the boxes, but we won't be distributing them until the stay-at-home order is lifted. So we're hoping that these can hit people's doorsteps at the end of May, and then we'll post a little bit more about it on our social media then. Not an official update, but I will mention that our 2021 tourism brochure and farm gate map are set to go to print this Friday. So though I don't have an official update for you on those publications today, they should be hitting mailboxes at the end of May and early June. So we're excited about that program as well. And at this point, I would welcome any questions.
I'd just like to say that in about a month ago, I started participating in that rapid test program. I received them from the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce through another Chamber of Commerce. So it's a pretty good program. It's not a silver bullet, but we've been able to participate with it, and you have to report to the province the test results by every Friday. It's a little document you have to sign. It's a quick video, and work to administer the program too. So.
Any other questions or comments for Ashley? Lisa, just for my reference to things like the Digital Service Squad and the other programs that the county offers in our newsletter, or how do we promote those things?
We do. We promote them in our newsletter.
Okay.
And I also share on social media as well. And a lot of these items, Kim also shares, and she sends out some email updates to her list as well. So between Perth County's advertising and ours and what Kim does, I businesses should know about it. So. And
Okay.
the workshops that
Perfect.
Ashley talked about today, the two that are coming up, they are in my draft newsletter that I'm working on right now.
So one thing I just want to highlight, if I could, sorry, about the Experience 101 is an excellent program. I'm not sure, like, businesses may not really know how important developing experiences are. So any business that has visitors, basically that's how people now decide where they're going to go. They're not, it's not just about shopping. I mean, sometimes it is, but it's usually when an experience, like they can build this experience into their shopping experience. That's how people travel, or that's how people decide what they're going to do. So it's really important for our businesses to, to understand that, because that will really help them as they're moving forward. Kind of, it is a readjustment of how they think about their offerings to the public and what makes them different. So some of our businesses already do offer experiences that you might not think of as being normal tourist destinations, but how to promote them and how to help other businesses really build on that. So I just wanted to make that additional comment, because it's really, I think, going to be a key driver for businesses going forward.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Kim. And to that, I'll say if you are a business, you know, would like to attend, but maybe you're thinking it's a tourism recovery workshop and I'm not a tourism business, I would still encourage you to attend or at least reach out to me to find out more, because chances are you're welcome more visitors than you think. And even though you may not be a typical tourism business, you still could benefit a lot from this workshop.
Perfect.
I'm attending as well. I'm attending it just so I can see what is being communicated to businesses and see how that it might help us, because we are tourism, really, the BIA. And also then I'll have that information when I'm talking to businesses. So I have signed up for it because I think it's important that I'm there.
Agreed. Yeah. Okay. No further questions or comments for Ashley or Kim. Lisa, you want to speak to the potential for a new board member?
Yeah, so I have good news and I have bad news. I'm going to start with the bad news first so that we end on good news. As most of you probably know, Mark Tarbush has recently retired from his practice. It was not because he was ready necessarily to retire. His surgery, unfortunately, did not go as expected, and he is in a position where he has had to retire. He's still in the hospital, and he is still getting support and treatment. And because of that, he also needs to step back from the board and resign from his position on the board. So it is pretty hard, and we are losing a great board member. He's a great guy. So he is no longer on our board, effective immediately. And I stay in touch with his wife and everyone that I can, just to get updates. He is doing better, but he's still in the hospital. So we wish him all the best and recovery as best as can be. That said, on a good news, I do have someone that has shown an interest in joining our board. His name is Nickcadot, I think. He is an employee of the ranch, and the owner of the ranch has written us a letter saying that they would like him to represent its business. He's the GM of the ranch, and he has lots of experience in marketing and business. He's worked with other BIAs. He wants to help and grow. He's particularly interested in the marketing side, which I think would be super helpful to me. He's been on the Wallaceburg BIA, Wallaceburg Chamber of Commerce, the Chatham Kent Museum, the Chatham Kent Health Alliance, and he is available to join us. He is currently also living in Listowel, which is nice because he really wants to help the businesses grow and recover from the past year. And he's here and he supports our community. So I'm bringing forward that application. Obviously open for discussion. If everyone's comfortable, we can put a motion together and then I can send that to Pat.
Thanks, Lisa. First of all, just naturally on behalf of the board, if you could pass along our support to Mark. If you're in contact with the family, that'd be great. That does, I don't want to dive into business related items, but that does leave the opportunity for the vice chair position open. So we'll have to consider that as well. I'm sure we need to do something about that and address that going forward. And I know you and I had talked briefly that maybe somebody else from his office may step up and wish to join the board. Have they expressed any interest in that or no?
They have expressed potential interest, but right now, they're just trying to transition Mark out. I'm told there's so much paperwork and behind the scenes that goes into that. So they're just trying to adjust to the office without Mark. And then they have said that they would potentially have someone represent from Tarbush. So I'm just giving them a little bit more time. I'm hoping maybe for July that I'm bringing someone else forward.
Okay. And maybe for the agenda for the July meeting, we could also just put on the agenda to deal with the vice chair position.
Yeah.
And that. And then, yeah, if anybody has any comments or want to bring forward about Nickcadot, and I'm sure he's easily qualified to be a member of the board. I saw a little bio on him as well. Hear him on the radio all the time. I naturally think he's probably a good fit for the board. So if anyone has any thoughts on that. And you need a motion to take that to Pat, is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'll motion it.
The motion should read that the BIA recommends to council the appointment of Nickcadot as a member of the BIA board, I believe.
Okay. So Brad, you're fine with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll motion that.
Thanks, Brad.
And do we have a
I'll
seconder?
second that. Hermander will second that.
Okay. All in favor? Assuming unanimous again. So I think that brings us to the end of the agenda. I just wanted to double check. Lisa, you don't need any further direction or authorization from the board for anything that you're doing? You're good?
No, I'm just bringing up the calendar. So I just want to remind everyone that we are not meeting in June, that we've moved on to every other month. So our next meeting is Wednesday, July 7th. And also summertime brings vacation. So pending what's going on with COVID, I did put in the end of the report when I'm planning to take time off. I am aware of Nicole's vacation and we're going to kind of work together. We only have like, I think 2 days that overlap the whole summer. So she will be available to the board or people if while I'm gone. There's only 1 week where I'm not available at all. The other weeks I will still have access to emails and stuff like that. So if there's anything you think we should be working on, if there's any thing you'd like to see, please share it with me. I'm going to be working on the directory a little bit because I have some time right now. It's really coming along. I'm feeling good about it. And obviously some social media, some advertising, and I'm hoping to do some summer things that are fun, like maybe the scavenger hunts, the daycation contest, working with the egg for the fair, just trying to come up with some things that are fun, that support the community, but also support the businesses. But I'm always open to ideas. I'm hoping that Nick goes through council pretty quick and we can get him on the board. He said he's got some ideas and he'd love to sit down with me for marketing. I think that'd be really helpful. If anybody wants to be a part of that discussion, let me know. We used to have a marketing committee. Maybe it's time to bring it back. So I think that's it for me. If anyone, please just reach out if you want to discuss anything.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Last chance for any comments from any board members. Not seeing any. Just before we go, I just wanted to, on behalf of the board, thank our current Nicole, naturally, for all her efforts and everything that she's done for us, and welcome the new Nicole to our group. She's always greeted me when I've gone to municipal office as well. Always smiling, always friendly. So welcome to the BIA. and we look forward to working with you. And I think that's it for this morning. So if anyone would like to pass a motion for adjournment of the meeting.
I'll move that.
And I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See you in a few months. Bye.
Thank you.